Thank you, everyone, for downloading this episode of the Nerdball Podcast. I am your host, Lorenzo Melcher, recording, as always, in my basement, surrounded by wonderful sports memorabilia. I appreciate you all for always listening, sharing, subscribing, downloading, liking. Anything you do on social media to help the podcast is much appreciated. We're trying to do the best we can over here, and any little bit helps. So, again, I appreciate you all for doing that. If you want to be on the podcast, just hit us up on Gmail, the nerdballpodcast@gmail.com, or find us on all social medias. Just search the Nerdball Podcast, and I'm sure we're on it. And if we're not, let me know, and I'll scoop up the name and try to do it. Doesn't mean I'm going to actually post anything. So, but I have been, people have been talking and saying, oh, I like this episode, or I listened to this episode, or someone even told me, my good friend Chip told me he was going to play some music, and the first thing that popped up on his Amazon Music was the Nerdball Podcast. So I say, well, thanks for listening, and then we can move on to your music. So I appreciate you all, because it is, like I say every week, it is fun to do, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it and listening to it or watching it, and subscribe to that YouTube page. I'm almost up to 150 subscribers. Might not seem like a lot, but I get excited. I get excited every time someone new subscribes. So hit that bell, and you'll never miss an episode and seeing my face and not just hearing my voice. So without further ado, here's this week's episode.
Hi, I'm Megan Clarke, and this is the Nerdball Podcast.
This is the Nerdball Podcast with Lorenzo Melcher.
Awesome, Megan. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Can I tell you, we were just really quick chit-chatting, and man, did you turn it on when I said, all right, and go. Hi, I'm Megan Clarke.
I got it. I got the show voice. Nailed it.
It was so good. Can I tell you what I had going on this morning? First of all, I woke up at 6:30 just on my own, because that's what I do. I can't sleep in. And then I had to put a load of laundry in. I painted some fingernails. I made ghee. I don't know if you know what ghee is. So I made that this morning, and then I emptied the dishwasher, and all before 9 a.m. And I did some other things too, but I was all over the place this morning.
You're really making me look bad, because I got out of bed about 20 minutes ago.
I can't sleep. I mean, I get enough sleep, and my body's like, all right, time to go. Let's go. I said, okay.
This is our first weekend within the past month that I haven't had to set a 4:30, 5 o'clock alarm for volleyball. Oh. So this was the weekend where I was like, I even told my kids, no one talk to me before 9:30 unless you are almost dead. Like, leave me alone. David's out of town, so I've been single parenting since Thursday. So I'm literally like, unless you really, really need something, don't talk to me until 9:30.
Well, now I feel special.
Yeah.
Because you came on the podcast.
And I'm here for you.
Thank you. As usual, I texted someone mere 12 hours before I needed someone to come on, and here you are. But then I was like, oh, I already have an episode for next Thursday. So this is for 2 Thursdays.
Perfect.
So I'm ahead of the game, though. So
that's perfect.
I feel good.
I actually didn't tell anybody that I was doing this, and I was laughing because I just had coffee with Rachel Mole, and she told me that Mark didn't tell her that he was doing the podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the same thing. So what's up, Rachel Mole? I look forward to your WTF text.
That's so fun. Well, I'm happy you're on, the queen of 10-minute tasks herself, on the podcast. So you have been pumping those things out. Do you try to get one out every day?
I try to, and I fail. Yeah. Okay. But it's life. And I don't want to go into this thinking that like I'm going to nail it. And I don't want that expectation from anybody.
Yeah.
So like I do try, but it doesn't happen.
How do your kids feel about you putting out all these reels and stuff?
Emmy thinks it's kind of cool. She thinks she likes it. Like her friends are into this. Some of her friends have even said like, I've started to like clean my bedroom and like get stuff out. So like, that's cool. Olive told me that I'm completely cringe. Mixed reviews.
Oh, well, hey, that's what you get. I'm always afraid to tell my kids how many YouTube subscribers I have. I was like, guys, I can't help that you listen to have people that have millions of subscribers. I'm excited. I almost have 150. We get.
Oh, yeah. If I get like, I don't know, 25 likes on a video. I'm like, that one really, there was one video that kind of went a little bit out farther than I expected it to, but I was making fun of Emmy in the video. And so, and like I was in the line at Chick-fil-A and all of a sudden my phone's pinging and it's like 2,000 views. And I was like, what?
I did have a couple videos like that, and it does make you like, all right, so what's the difference between this video and all these other videos? Like, they're all the same. I don't know.
For me, I was myself in that video. I was completely who I was. I literally popped my phone out and made that video and posted it within 4 minutes because I just thought this is funny.
Yeah.
And everything else, I feel like I'm trying too hard. Like I'm trying to be like the person that's on the internet, and I'm not. Like that's just not me. I hate it. I hate creating content whenever I'm like fake smiling. It's just not my thing. I would rather be like, yeah, just go do some shit. Like just get it done. Like just...
Yeah. But then I mean, a Scotia view has to be a little professional.
Yeah, because right? I'm not just talking to my friends. I really am.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people that have started to follow me and have interacted quite a bit. I don't know. Yeah. That are all over the world. And so I feel like I do need to actually have some sort of professionalism to be taken seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. You're being taken so seriously right now that your Zoom name is a man. That's, you don't know.
Jim Hutchins. I did want to ask, how are my boys?
Okay. Jim and Tyler. So I was texting them last night. So Tyler, his wife, or Andrea went to his fiance's baby shower last night.
Yay. Yesterday. Congrats to all of that.
Yeah. Yep. So her and Lillian went and hung out there. Tyler has a diaper party next month, so I'll be going to that. Check that out. But they're doing good. I just texted them last night because Jim still owes me $100 from the bet we made for basketball. So we were texting, and since you asked, I think we're gonna get it going again.
Yeah, that's
I think
exciting.
we're gonna start for probably 2 times a month. Yeah. But we were texting, and I think we're gonna get it going possibly the first week in June. We'll record, so that's where everyone's exciting. At. Yeah.
Well, congrats on all of that. That's really cool. I love it.
I asked them, and I think everybody was just waiting for someone to be like, "Hey, are we gonna start doing this again?" Because they're both like, "Yeah, I'm good, I'm in." And then we were trying to figure out schedules. So,
well, I'll send in an email with all of my follow-up questions because I have a ton of questions now that you.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, here's awesome. 20 questions for Megan.
Hey, perfect. That'd be a good comeback episode. Just answer all these questions.
Q&A.
So if anybody's listening, well, actually, I don't even know if this one comes out. Yeah, this will be out before that, I believe. So I was gonna say if anybody else has questions, so this will be out. Yeah. Okay, so I would ask you what you're nerding out about, but I'm interested in your cleaning. And like you said, we mentioned the organizing videos and tips and that kind of stuff. So has this like we mentioned the videos and the reels and stuff. Does it enter your brain, and does it seem like work where you're like, oh, I gotta make one of these videos? And it's like, because that's what gets me sometimes. Like, I don't want it ever to feel that way. I like doing this podcast. It's fun, and that's what I like.
Days that I feel like it's I can't do this. I just don't do it.
Yeah,
it's just what it is. Some days, I mean, I'm in houses with clients a lot more lately that I just don't have the time. By the time I get home, my kids are here. I feel really weird making the videos whenever my kids and my husband are home. Like I'm like selfie style with my phone talking and they're just standing in the corner of the room. Like,
yeah,
like, it's just, I'm not comfortable with it yet, which is fine. I'll get there. I don't know. I just don't do it if it's not.
And explain to people what you do.
I started Simplify and Sort is a decluttering and organizing business where I will come into your home and help you with any room that you have. I will take away the donations and the trash. And then once that's all done, we will come up with an organizing plan for that specific space that makes it really easy to maintain. If you don't want me in your home, I can come in and just write you a game plan. Like I will put down step by step what you should do. And then you can do it yourself. Completely flexible. We can do it 3 days in a row. We can spread it out if you don't have time, kind of just whatever works for the client.
Do people, or have you asked clients that, hey, can I make a video here or talk about your stuff?
I have a couple clients where I have before pictures currently, and I'm just not there to have the after pictures. it's a real touchy thing because I feel like most of the people that I go in, they're like, this is real hard for me to let someone in right now because it's
Mm,
like not the worst side of them, but like people think that that is such an embarrassing part to just have all the stuff around. So I try not to be like, I'm gonna post about you or have your face in anything. I try to be real like low key about it.
okay. Yeah, I would imagine, it's obviously it's not as bad as hoarders, but hoarders are like,
Oh no.
it's a little like, mentally it's tough too. Like, all right, I
Hmm.
have all this stuff because even though for me, like, I took all these shirts that I don't wear out of my drawer, but now they're just like under the shelf in my restroom, like in this cabinet area that we have. Now
So
they're just sitting
that's
there.
why I try to immediately whenever we're done with it, I try to get it out of the home because
Yeah.
then it's like you can't overthink this or like go back on it, I guess.
And I don't wear them. I know I'm not going to wear them. I have taken some out because I've been coaching so long at Perrysburg. I have a bunch of Perrysburg stuff, so I've just been giving Mateo Perrysburg stuff now because he's starting to
Right.
wear shirts my size. And but most of the stuff I can probably just get rid of. And I don't know why I don't. I don't know if it's nothing like, oh, I can't live without it. I don't think that it's just sitting there, and I don't.
It's
I
just the
think
effort to
yeah,
do it. Like
yeah.
sometimes you're just like, I'll get to it eventually. Like,
And right
it
now
makes
they're
sense.
yeah, and right now they're hiding Pokemon cards. So I'm, I'm using it to hide things. So
I mean, multi-purpose. You're great. Keep it then.
it's just a wall to hide. It's like a shirt safe. You just got to know which shirt to move
I mean,
to see the stuff.
if I was a robber, I don't think I would look there. So
I can
go for
maybe I should put my gold bars, my bullion back there, and no one will be the wiser.
it. Well, now you just told everybody. So might want to move your shirt safe.
So what why and I'm sure I've talked or I've asked you about this before, and I don't remember if it was on a podcast or just in person, but why did you want to start doing this? Organizing for other people.
It has kind of I have said for probably 2 or 3 years now to friends that like I feel like I need to do something on my own. The way
Mm,
that our lives are structured, David is gone constantly and works really hard. And I feel like I'm the person that does the kiddos. But they're both in school full time. And I just kind of needed something that was very flexible and was my own. And I had noticed that whenever I had walked into certain homes, I would walk in and think, I know what I would do with the space.
mm,
Like I know how I would organize this. I know like what I would do. So then that became like the thing. And then uh Rachel had started her business, which was fantastic. I actually like had lunch with her before I like finally bought the domain, bought the LLC because I was like, I don't want to step on your toes if I start this. Like, but like,
yeah, because it's very similar, right?
well, that is actually how we became good friends. Like,
Okay.
whenever we decided that we both loved trash day because it got all the shit out of our house, we were like, yep, you're my person.
All
Okay.
right.
That is actually how we became like better friends beyond just softball moms.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I didn't want to step on her toes or take anything over. And she was very supportive, like, nope, I'm just trying to do a hobby, whereas I'm trying to like do a business.
Got
So
it. Yeah, that's when you talked about LLC and all that stuff. I've talked about it for like 2 years. Like, all right, I should
yeah,
probably like do this or get that or whatever.
yeah.
And it's not like it's super expensive. It's just I'm already making $0. So like added expense to to things is just not on
I'm
my
still
list.
currently in the negative. My I just haven't balanced out my whatever the financial term is. I don't do money. I don't know. I've still
Don't
spent
do
more
much.
to start the business than I have made in the business. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. I am constantly in the negative
Yeah,
because I have monthly fees to host these things and to be able to make clips and all this kind of
yeah,
stuff and I just
yeah.
whatever.
Right. I did get I met with the publisher for the Perrysburg Living magazine,
Yeah.
and he was offering me all of these marketing, like what we could do within the magazine, how much it would cost to do this and that. And I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna hold off for a minute,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like, let me get a little bit more checks in my bank account and then I'm in. But like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know what the balance is. Do I spend the money to make the money, kind of a thing? But
Everyone says, yeah.
yeah, I know. And he was wonderful. And he had asked if I would even do those like 10-minute task blurbs like in the magazine and stuff. And I was like, sure. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, and a lot of it too is you just got to know people and they'll help you out, or
Yeah.
to know where the free stuff is. Like, I mean, you can go on the Pearsburg pages. One of them is like every Monday and post stuff on
Yeah.
there, and
I missed 2 of them. Again, I'm really nailing this.
that's why part of me, I mean, if I make $0, it's all my fault, and it's not like I'm trying to like get rich with this thing.
Right.
I would at some point. I like to be like just zero, like just every month it's balancing out.
Yeah.
I thought of like having this schedule of like, all right, does somebody want to be my Zoom sponsor, because Zoom is like $16 a month or something, or does somebody want to
Mhm.
be the editing sponsor, and because that's like $20 a month or something, like all these smaller things where I can say their business or whatever. And I have all these plans, and I'm like, I don't, people are gonna ask like, how many downloads do you get? I'm like, not very many.
No,
I don't know.
I do have a meeting coming up with a realtor to
Yeah.
hopefully kind of collab there. So
Oh
we can,
yeah. Yeah,
because
that's a good idea.
yeah, so a little bit outside of the box thinking happening, which is great. But let
I
me
think you
get
need that.
going. Let me get my shit together, and then I'll help you get your shit together. You'll be fine. Right.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, gotcha.
I did my buddy George, uh famous from Three Different Dads, because that's
Mhm.
the guy we started thinking first. And he helped me make this video. I went to see this comedian a couple weeks ago, Andrew and I, Ryan Sickler, and he does green screen videos. So
Okay.
at my work, there's this the wall is green screen green. So I like filmed this video, and he like made this cool thing. It took him forever. He has a little girl, he's married, and it took him, I think he said it took him like 7 hours to make this 30-second video. It's
Wife's pissed
awesome.
that he missed bedtime.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's cool. And we made a QR code, and I met the comedian. I got the meet and greet stuff, because he's one of my favorite comedians, and he does a podcast and stuff. So I handed it to him, and I was like, hey, check this out. See if you can come on the podcast. If you're interested, just watch this video. It's real short. It's like 30 seconds. He's like, all right, cool. And then George texted me a few days after. He goes, anything? I was like, no. He goes, well, we tried. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I know someone who sent an invitation to Tom Hanks to his wedding.
Oh,
It's
really?
like, just gonna try.
A lot of people will
Like,
send them to famous people, because they might say no. They'll probably say no, but they send stuff back.
you're right.
Yeah.
There's $1,000 to Pottery Barn. Congrats.
Oh man. Have you I am, for people that are listening, I'm sure you can hear, I'm battling like a cough right now. And it was just a matter of time, because Lillian had been sick, or now it's like 2 weeks. And now Mateo started coughing, and I started coughing like 3 days ago. I'm like,
Mhm.
I almost got away, but theirs was way worse. And mine has been a cough for like 4 days now. And if we could just
Oh,
stay
that's
that
so
way,
annoying.
I'll
Yeah.
survive. I'll survive.
Yeah.
I can't not miss work right now too, because it's super busy, or about to be super busy.
Yeah.
So did you escape winter without getting a debilitating flu or cold or anything?
No, because we were at volleyball tournaments, like massive volleyball
Oh
tournaments.
yeah.
And I think the second one, we all came home with COVID.
Ugh,
So, no, but
that sucks. Do they both play volleyball?
well, Emmy has been playing for years. She's going into high school, so she's going to try out for the ninth grade team, but she's been on uh, travel volleyball for a while and played for school last year. And then Olive just signed up for the junior volley jackets. I believe that's in fifth grade, like the fifth and sixth grade.
Okay.
So eventually they will. I mean, it's great.
Well, the awesome thing about volleyball is it's year round, because you play indoors. So that's cool.
It is, but I also feel like there's so many opportunities to burn out also.
I
Like
know.
Emmy's trying to come up with her volleyball schedule for summer. So for school, they have clinics all summer. If before you go to try out for ninth grade or whatever, she has to be at the building ready to play at 7 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday for the entirety of summer.
Hmm.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then the place that she played last year at the athlete headquarters, they have a clinic. TVC has a clinic. She has a private lesson lady that she goes to that she wants to stay with all summer. And I'm like, you're gonna burn yourself out. Like this is too much.
Does she do anything else?
Track and field, which she
Okay.
also very much loves that too. But like
Yeah.
the months that they overlap is like she goes from school to track and field until 4. I pick her up there with like food and her bag already packed in the car, and I haul her to HQ, and she's there until almost 8 o'clock, and that's like her day. And again, it's too much.
It's a lot, but like I don't know, as a parent, like they're like super into this stuff, and what do you how do you
Yeah,
say don't be so into it? You know,
don't
like
try this. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So I don't know what it'll be. I don't know what I think at some point one of them has to give. I just I don't know what it is yet. But she loves both of them. She really does. And she has put everything into volleyball. And she's kind of like, I don't know what I would do if I don't play volleyball. And
Mhm.
I said to her, you would have time for a social life. You'd be able to hang friends. Like we would be able to like do things on the weekend. But volleyball's great too.
There's also a balance to like, okay, you gotta that's why I asked if they do anything else, if she does anything else, because there's a built-in break there to say, all right, well, this is track season or baseball season or whatever, and I can't do this other stuff. But it sounds like there isn't that break because if
Mm-mm.
you I don't I'm Lillian doesn't play volleyball, but I would imagine if you want to be a very good volleyball player, you have to just continue to play and then try to fit all this other stuff in. And what makes it worse too is in high school, track is longer than junior
Mhm.
high,
Mhm.
and there's the invitationals on the weekends and all that stuff where I'm assuming volleyball would be too. And now you have to make a decision on what you're gonna do.
Yeah, she didn't go to NLLs this week or this year because it was the same time as a volleyball tournament.
Yeah,
Like, but everything overlaps. And like there's no break. But I also feel the same way with softball. Like softball is
yeah.
pretty much year round with a winter break. And then you just keep going. And then as soon as you're done with summer, then you try out again. So like that is also a continuous thing for us.
Yeah, I think our last games are a week before the tryouts for the
Mhm.
for the next season for softball.
Yep, the tryouts are like on July 17th or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I think the big championship tournament thing is right before that.
Well, we
What?
Andrew and I made a decision. We didn't tell Lillian, but we made it for her that next year she's only going to play fall ball and spring, because come summertime, baton competitions are pretty
Yes.
big. So we are, and like now on Monday, she has school, then goes to baton, and then my mom's picking her up a little bit early from baton to take her down to Pemberville to our softball game.
Oh,
So
see,
yeah,
yep, same thing. They're so young and to just be like, go, go, go. And I feel like after COVID, I was like, I never need to be that busy again. Like COVID really slowed everything down and I was like, I'm good with this. Like, let's
yeah,
go slow. And
yeah.
now it's just like we're right back into it because there was no avoiding it. The kids wanted to do everything. I do think that Olive might be completely done with softball after this summer season.
Oh really?
She, yeah, I don't know. She just is like, I'm not loving it. I'm not having the best time anymore. She kind of wants to do other things. So
What else? What other things is she interested in?
she she started a tumbling class
Okay.
quite a few months ago and can do almost every tumbling, I don't know, not event, whatever it is. And
Yeah.
she wants to get back into gymnastics now, which I feel like a solid thumbs down on that. But
But again, you
I
can't.
guess I'll go back to the gym where it smells like feet, sitting
I,
there for hours. It'll be fine.
that's what Lillian and Mateo. Lillian used to do gymnastics and tumbling. Mateo at the same place would do a ninja class. They call it like
Yeah.
like American Ninja Warrior.
Is it
And
New Heights?
yeah, yep, that's where we
Yeah, so
went.
we're signed up to do a trial class there. We signed up like on Friday, and then she was on crutches by Tuesday, and then she was supposed to do her trial class on Wednesday. This is a
Uh,
while ago. She got
yeah,
hurt playing softball, so we've had to push everything back. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But she's so good at softball that I really don't want her to quit. Like she's really
yeah.
improved behind the plate. But she's also the kid that like just has that natural talent that I think she'll be decent at everything that she tries, which is
Mhm.
super annoying, but
No,
also wonderful.
I I get it. Another person I've talked about and I coach her now is Ellis. Ellis is like that because she doesn't
Mhm.
do any like private lessons on this or that or anything, and she's just a good softball player and basketball player, and she does
Yeah.
volleyball, and that's just
Yeah.
some
Olive also
people's-
did really, really well on her basketball team this
yeah,
past winter also.
yeah.
And like just natural, I don't know, just has it. Her dad has that too. And it's so annoying. And I try so hard. And no one ever picks me to be on their team because I'm terrible. I'm not
Because
even
I'm
okay. So
terrible.
we, as a family, the four of us, we went to the pickleball courts that are over by the YMCA.
Mm,
And Olive at the time is in a full stabilizing brace for her knee, like
yeah.
just got off crutches. And the choice was between me or Olive. And David was like, ugh,
No.
like, really? So
Yeah, he took the ground, couldn't even move, had one
yeah,
leg.
he took the kid with the brace on.
Wow, that is
They
bad.
call me the liability. It's fine.
It's just the curse you're born to live with.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
here to provide the snacks anyway. It's okay.
The
I
snacks and
know
the
my
rides,
role. I got it. Yeah, it's fine.
and making sure everyone's well organized. How
Mhm.
do you get frustrated when I know we're bouncing around, but do you get frustrated when you walk into like one of your daughter's rooms and it's like, oh, what did I tell you about this? And then we had it all organized. Now look at it. Or do you just let them be?
No, I really like I've had a lot of clients say like I don't know what to do. My husband's not on board with this. And my advice is just control what you can control. Take care of your own space. Take care
Yeah.
of your bedside table or your side of the sink or whatever. And if they see the benefit of it, then they'll join. And if they don't, at least your environment for the most part is what you would like it to be. For the kiddos, I kind of do the same thing. I kind of just lead by example. Emmy's room is always well put together. And if it's not, she kind of like her brain doesn't function well in clustered spaces. So she keeps her room very put together. Olive, on the other hand, is just like, I get to it when I get to it, whatever. But I'm just,
Yeah.
she does her own thing. And as long as there's no mold, I don't really care. I do, I do get frustrated whenever like I have done something like within our bedroom or like the spaces downstairs and my husband just leaves shit everywhere. That I don't know why it's him. And I'm so sorry, Dave, but it is. Like the kids are kind of like, it's fine, we'll figure it out. They'll eventually get there. But the
Yeah.
husband, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like you can see that I just took care of this.
And he's not even there half the time. And then
No. And I think he also I'm not using this as an excuse, but he also, we believe, has like some sort of dyslexia. And so like his brain is kind of like all over the place a little bit. So whenever
Yeah.
he's doing a project, he gets done with it and just puts everything down and like moves on to the next project and doesn't like return to it. So there's so many times where I just walk around and I'm just like, I feel like I'm just picking up all the tools or picking up like whatever, or just following him. But it's fine.
Yeah. That's definitely ADHD trait where you are
Kind of goes along with,
yeah,
yeah.
like I'm working on something, and then as you're walking, this happens to me all the time. I was out in the backyard like mowing or something, and I had to go get something from the garage, and then an hour later I'm still in the garage like cleaning up or doing something. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta finish mowing, you know.
I feel like that's how I walk around my house whenever I'm trying to like just putz and clean. I just walk into a room and do something and walk into a room and do something. Like
That's how my mom is. My mom will do that for all day for 10 hours on a Sunday. They just walk around from room to room, like picking up things and putting things down and never really like completing things seemingly, but just like continuously readjusting things.
I feel like I get frustrated on those days because I feel like, okay, I moved all day and I did stuff all day, but like I don't look like I accomplished anything. And that the amount that I can see that I accomplished at the end of the day is what makes me feel good about my progress.
Yeah.
So like those days frustrate me, but I totally do it.
It's wild to see, especially my dad. I'll go over there because my dad can be just sitting on the couch, like watching TV or whatever, watching a movie, and my mom's just fluttering around like a butterfly. And I walk in, I was like, "Where's mom?" He goes, "I don't know. I keep hearing her move around up there. She's doing something upstairs."
Okay, so I could walk around the house 1,000 times and David could sit on the couch and watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
But if David is walking around the house doing something, I have like this guilt that I have to get up and be productive. Like I've got to get up and do the dishes or something. Do you do that? Do you feel that way?
No, because I am the person that's up and about doing things.
Does Andrea feel that way? Is
She
she
does
like,
not. No, she does not. Which is perfectly fine. Like
yeah,
she does things, and if she wants to sit on, she gets mad at me because I won't sit on the couch with her sometimes.
yeah,
Then she'll
yeah,
make me, and she's like, "You don't want to be here right now." I said, "It's not that I don't want to be here with you. I just know I'm thinking of the things that I need to do, and that's all." And she was like, "All right,
yeah.
just go." You know, but
David goes into what I call work mode. He like especially during the week because he's all over the place. He's kind of home a little bit, like for a couple of hours, like sending emails or whatever, and then back in the office and then back at projects or whatever. And I just don't deal with him because
mm,
his work mode is too much for me. He's too like focused and like you're saying, like your brain is like six places. Like you
yeah,
already have the next list. So we actually went into a meeting. He came with me to set up like my business account at the bank. And he sat there and I could just tell him he was fidgeting the whole time. And I was like, go, like, I don't need you here. I appreciate you wanting to be here to help, but I don't need like, and then he was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And then like 10 minutes later, I was like, I'm about to punch you. Like you need to leave right now. Like it was so just like, I could tell he was like elsewhere. He wasn't really
yeah.
focusing on what was happening here. And I was so frustrated that I was like, get out.
You know, I will tell you when I do when I am sitting on the couch and I can hear Andrea, not yelling at the kids, but like telling them to like do this, do that,
Mhm.
pick your clothes up. That's when I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to be caught in this crossfire, so I am just gonna get up and pretend to do something because
I will say David has done it before.
she's
Yeah.
like she was like, you don't have to do stuff too. I was like, well, I feel like I need to be productive because everybody else is doing stuff.
Right. So it's eventually gonna come at me and I'm just gonna avoid it. Yeah. David likes to he likes to get really busy outside when that
Oh
happens.
yeah, yeah.
Like he'll go like putts around out back around the like the pool area and he's just like there's so much to do. But look, he's just walking.
I have this well, I saved a bunch of stuff that I don't need to save. Like I have a lot of jars for things
Mhm.
for whatever reason. And some of them I reuse and like well, I made ghee and I put it in a old salsa jar, so I reuse
Uh-huh.
that. Andrea makes fun of me because I have two salsa jars upstairs in our vanity area, one with a black lid and one with a red lid, and I put my right eye contacts in the one with the red lid because R and R, and I put my left eye contacts in the one with the black lid because it has an L in it for left eye.
You know, like every time you buy contact solution, you get a little thing for it, right? Like,
No, I use dailies. So I have all
oh,
these,
okay.
yeah, I have
Okay.
all these little tiny contacts that I put in these jars.
Oh, okay. So you're just pulling
Not
it
the
out and then
contact
throwing it away.
itself, that'd be insane.
I thought that you were saying that you were putting contact solution in a ball jar
No,
and like
no.
sticking your contact in it.
No, I left out the most important. Yeah, they're daily contacts. So.
It's my fault. It's my fault.
But
That's
I also
funny.
saved when our kids were babies. I saved all the formula, a bunch of formula containers,
Mm-hmm.
and we use because they have the ones that are just circle and it has a lid that comes completely off. These ones have like lids that are on like little hinges, plastic, and so I save all
Okay.
those, and I have one completely full of random drill bits that
Yeah.
they're just spilled about on my now they're on my counter out in the garage that I have to sort through them. But I have
Yeah.
another one filled with like sockets, like just random sockets. I have no idea. But
But do you know how much
I'm a
money
saver.
people pay for those types of jars
I know.
to then organize all their stuff? Like those are actually pretty expensive. So you did a great job, really.
I probably have, and I have been throwing some away because I don't know have anywhere to put them. I probably have about 20 some jars, just in my cabinet, and then I bet I have close to 40 of those formula containers just in my attic, waiting to be used for something.
That one kind of hurts. We might have to do something about that.
I have so many. I have so many in a banana box that you get from Aldi's.
Right.
Which, by the way, they don't make the banana boxes like they used to, and
Which
they were so good, and now they're terrible boxes.
I went to Aldi's the other day and I had a full cart, like a full cart,
Mm-hmm.
and it was only self-checkout. And I was
Oh,
like, what? Me 20 minutes of like, scan this stupid thing.
and I don't care how full my cart is. I always do self checkout at Aldi because
Really?
because I bring in my own container. If I remember, bring in my own container to put
Mhm.
those big ones that at Costco they're like $8, the black ones
Yeah.
with the yellow lids.
Yeah.
I bring one of those in and I set it on the little thing, and I scan, and that way I can organize everything. And I have to do it certain things. Like I have to scan all the boxes first. All the box items goes in first because it's easier to put in there. And then I end up with chips and bread and whatever as what's
You know
last.
that this is your own organizational system. You've already got it going. You already have the skill.
If I forget my container, I really get upset with myself because then I got to scrounge around.
How many times have you done
that? More than I remember.
Right.
I also do it. I do it at Meijer too because you can scan. You can do the shop and scan. I don't know if you've ever done that, right? So I do that. I like doing that. That way I get out of the store. I mean, it's fun. I don't know. It's fun to me. I don't know.
Hate grocery shopping with a passion. Like
I think we probably talked about this because this is one of my favorite things I like to do.
Yeah, no, I hate. I would rather do a click list, and I've gotten to the point where I'm on first name basis with probably about half the click list people that bring out groceries because I want them to see my car pull up and be like, "Hey, Megan's here." I'm like, "Hey, Dad, how was Thanksgiving with your father-in-law?" Look, I got it. I'm on it.
I like saying hi to the people inside. There's this girl at Meijer, well, woman at Meijer. Her name is Jenny, and she's always at the front, and she always says hello, and she always says goodbye to everybody that comes in. And I always see someone that I know, and that's like we went to the store one time, and we came back, and Lillian, it was me and Lillian. She's like, we would have been back, but Dad talked to like everybody. I said, I'm sorry.
But that's the best thing about like growing up here and like staying here, knowing people. Yeah. I don't have that here. But
I will tell you, there's this lady I saw at work. She rented one of our facilities and she came up and I went into the facility because they were done and I was cleaning up and stuff. And she talked to me about her son and playing football. And it's like, oh yeah, I think he's gonna play football this year. He really liked it last year. And are you still coaching? Like all this stuff. And then I was like, all right, cool. Nice talking to you. See it. And I turned to my coworker that was in there. I go, I have no idea who that woman was. and then I saw her again at the Woodland family fun night because she was on the speaker saying, hey, we need a volunteer. We need a volunteer. I was like, all right, I'll volunteer for a little bit. And it was her. And she's like, yeah, Lorenzo, thank you so much. And I was like, man, I wish I knew who you were.
You're in too deep, though. You're in too deep. You can't ask.
No.
So Dave and I have a signal. So if I don't introduce him, he'll say, hi, my name's Dave Clarke. And then they'll say their name.
Andrea does that. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So good.
But she was not around and I could not escape it. And now maybe if she listens to this, I'll get an email or something like, hey, by the way, my name is so-and-so. Very nice woman. Very nice to talk to. Knew a lot about me.
The 40-year-old brain here is just not what it used to be.
No. Gosh, I am almost 42. Next February, I'll be 40.
Same February or October. Yep. Coming up. I do want to say this. One of the best things about starting this business at almost 40 is my kiddos are watching me completely pivot from what I was doing before. And I love that. I love that they are like, we're not stuck in what we chose to do. Like, if you want to change it, change it. So like, that's been really cool. That's like my biggest motivation for all of this.
Well, for forever, I mean, I'm sure your parents were possibly the same. I know my dad worked for the same place for 31.3 years or 4 years. He always gets mad if I don't put that point, whatever. I think it's 0.4.
We did it.
But I would always, like, I'd get a job. And he told me this. He goes, every time you get a job, I would just think, all right, that's his job. And then I would leave and get another job. All right, that's going to be his job. And it's been like that forever. And I told him, I was like, well, it's just not how it works anymore, Dad. I was like, and when I leave, it is very specific on like, here's my criteria for if I were able to leave. Like when I was at Dana World Headquarters, I was a groundskeeper and I left. It was a higher paying job. I got into the OPERS retirement system at University of Toledo. So when I got there, I'm like, all right, well, if I ever leave from UT, it's got to be a job that's in OPERS because there's no point in me being in OPERS and then not continuing that. And that was it. It was either it has to be a job in OPERS or it has to be a job at Perrysburg, Perrysburg schools. So then when I left, it was a job at Metro Parks, still in OPERS. I'm like, all right, well, if I ever leave here, it's only for a job at Perrysburg schools. And then opportunity came up, and unfortunately, I got passed on for a position, which was probably, if hindsight is really good that I didn't get this position.
That
And
sucks when it happens, right?
oh yeah, 100%. Especially when
Yeah.
they're like, hey,
Been there. Yep.
you were number two. Sorry, this and that. I'm like, all right.
Yep.
But
Yep.
now like I just don't seem I price myself out of anything at Perrysburg because I'm not a teacher.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna be where I'm at. But it's always very specific on if I leave this, it's only for these couple reasons.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I also didn't know that like this is how it worked now because I watched both my parents work at the same, not the same job, but at the same place
Mm-hmm.
for my entire life. Like they just retired a couple years ago. They never worked anywhere else. It was just the same. And like it wasn't until I was married to David that I was like, what am I gonna do? Like I was fired from my dream job. Basically, I got an intern at my dream job. I was let go because I was pregnant.
I remember you
Um,
telling me that. Yeah.
and so then I was like, well, what is this? And David had to explain to me, like, you can do multiple things. Like, this is no longer you take one job and that's your job for your life. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I I do like that my kiddos are seeing this.
Well, that's why I love when I hear, especially at my job, when I hear like, oh, this person wants to apply for a position, but they're still in school. But like a non-traditional student, so like an adult over the age of 20 or 25 that decided to go back to school because of
Hmm.
X, Y, and Z reasons. Like, okay, well, this is something that they want to do. Like they decide as an adult, you know what?
Yeah,
I'd rather do this and not
yeah,
this, you know.
yeah. That's so cool.
We hired somebody just now. She's a seasonal for us. She was going to school. She graduated with a I can't remember what degree it was, like an environmental degree or something, and then found a couple landscape and turf grass classes at Owens and decided to take some of those. And now like she's like, oh, I like this. And we hired
Uh-huh.
her as one of our seasonals this year. And she worked out really good. But again, it's like she went through 2 years or however many years at Owens to get this degree, and now she's staying extra year to finish up some more
Yeah,
classes to get some of these other things. So it's cool
yeah.
to see that because
My 4-year degree has nothing to do with what I'm doing. Like
yeah,
absolutely. So like maybe don't tell my kids that.
I,
We still have to pay for that college.
I have told kids and I even tell them like I'm sure your parents will be mad at me for saying this, like college isn't for everybody and you don't
Oh,
need to go to
yep.
college to do what you
We've
want to
said
do.
that. Yeah.
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 And I
I
ask
also
them, yeah.
I do think that college is great for that in between years of growing up,
Mm-hmm.
like learning how to be independent, but not truly being independent. I think that's fantastic. I think it's the social environment that makes it worth doing,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not for everybody.
Also, if you know I'm gonna be a doctor, okay, cool. Go to college. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you know, like I want to be an accountant and I want to go to this college for it, like okay, awesome. But if you don't know what you're doing, like that's I always do that from experience. Like I had no idea what I was wanted to do and I wasted money. And if I would have just like not gone to school for a year or two and tried to figure it
Yeah.
out, and then
Yeah.
that's a little
I
better
also don't want
too.
my kids in my basement though. They need to go.
I was in my parents' basement. I think when did I move out? I think I was 20 when I moved out. Yeah, I think something
Did
like
you go
that.
to like Owens or something for a little bit?
So I went to BG right out of high school.
That's right.
BG said after semester said don't come back, and I said cool. So then I went to Owens first
Hmm.
semester, spring semester, and Owen said don't come back. Like all right. So I tried BG again, and it didn't work out. So I didn't go to school for I don't know a couple years, and then decided to go to Owens. That's when I decided to go to Owens.
Hmm.
I think I graduated when Mateo was born,
Hmm.
2011, I think, something like that. But even then, I still had no idea what I wanted to do. I spent a whole night just looking through the catalog of Owens
Hmm.
courses and degrees and stuff, and found something that interested me, and that's what I went for. So
See, you just needed your adult brain to develop before you could figure out what was happening.
that and a little nudging from my she was my girlfriend at the time, but my wife, she was
Yeah.
like, "What do you think what do you want to do here? Can't work at Ed Schmidt for your whole life. I mean, I guess you can, but not as a porter.
What I would
Making
like to do is bar hop, but what I need to do is get a job.
a lot of that a lot of that just me not wanting to drink as much as other people probably saved me from
Hmm.
a lot of stuff. Like I
Hmm.
could have uh done that a lot more. I lived in BG for 2 years, once with some buddies and then with Andrea for a year. And just we had our night. We went out once a week.
Yeah.
And even now, like if I drink, like other people I know that drink like even just a regular amount of beer, I would be 400 pounds. Like I just
I
I just
can't do
don't
it.
drink, and which whatever. I don't know if it's just subconsciously because my mom was an alcoholic, and my brother was into drugs and
Yeah,
alcohol, or
yeah.
if it's just because I don't know. I just never feel like I want to. Now I tell you when I will do it. We have a guy trip coming up in a month, and you better believe it. I'm going to do it there, but it's planned. It's been planned for a year that on these days I'm going to be drinking.
And I went to Austin with my college girlfriends, and I was the one that didn't drink. Like
Yeah,
I just can't. I haven't. And in college, I was never the one that was like always the partier. I was probably more like you, where I was kind of like just held back a little bit. But I mean, we went out in Austin. We went to all the bars. We were doing all the things, and I probably had one drink for the night.
yeah.
But like that doesn't stop me from like getting on tables and like being crazy. I just do it sober,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
we just don't tell anybody. But it was actually really fun because I was the one the next morning, like, listen, you guys, this is what y'all said, and this is hilarious. And
Yeah.
they were like, we're so glad you're here. So I haven't like went out, like partied in years. Like it's no longer my thing.
Mhm.
I was at my friend's house last night whenever you texted, and they were having drinks, and I think I had one beer with dinner, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm good. Like, I don't know. It's not my
Uh,
thing anymore.
it is fun. I'll tell you that
Mhm.
I think the last time I had a lot of drinks was probably about a year ago. My sister had a party. My youngest sister had a party for her birthday, and they got a like a party bus.
I saw
Uh,
pictures, I think.
yeah, we and
Yeah.
that I had a lot, and it was fun. And woke up the next morning, I was like, yeah, this is why I don't do it
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
anymore.
Those I can't do the hangovers anymore. That's exactly why I can't do it.
Yeah, I think we Uber. It was Andrew and I were home. It was just us. I think the kids were at my in-laws, and we Uber eated McDonald's breakfast because we just didn't want to move anywhere. But yeah, it was fun. And like I said, when I go out with my buddies, we're going out to San Diego for a guys trip, and
Fun.
um, the last time we had a guys trip, we went to Austin, and I just never felt drunk. Like I drank all day, but I think it's because we were swimming and
Yeah.
kayaking or playing yard
Yeah.
games and just constantly moving around, and that's how it would be this time. But we didn't plan anything this time. We planned one thing. We're going to a baseball game, but other than that, like it's just hanging out at the schoolhouse and drinking
How many
drinks.
guys?
So we invited, the list is 14.
Oh,
When all is said and done, or I would say when I first got the initial list, we were at 8. And then one had to back out before any money was paid because his adoptive sister was getting married on that same weekend.
yeah.
And then another one just backed out because his boss gave him this same weekend, gave him and his wife all expenses paid vacation to Florida somewhere. So I was like, well, you can't pass that up, man.
Right? I mean,
So
both great
there's
choices.
yeah. So
So
there's 6 of us now, which fine. I'd go if there's 2 of
perfect.
us. I'd
Yeah. Yeah.
I already spent
It
my
almost
money,
makes
bought a
it
plane ticket. So
it almost makes it a little bit better because you can like actually hang out with the people that you haven't seen, like whenever it's a
mhm,
smaller group
mhm.
versus the bigger group. But I mean, I'm sure it would still be great to have everyone there too.
Yeah, I would love at some point. I would love it. It'll never happen because everyone has different lives. If
Oh
all
yeah.
14 were like, "Yep, we're in this year," and at some point,
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get to double digits. But the first year we did it, we had 9 people, and that was awesome. And
Yeah. I had told
um,
David that I really wanted to book something with my college girlfriends where it's like all of our families, like
oh,
spouses, kids, like in just one of the really big houses, like on the
mhm.
beach or whatever with the pool, and just everyone can do what they're doing or whatever. But I just thought that would be so fun to just be like, let's embrace this chaos right now.
Yeah, because you're all there. Everyone's safe, and
Yeah.
you're just watching, making sure no one does anything too stupid, and it is fun.
In like a year and a half, Emmy will be able to, well, she gets her driver's license or her temps in a couple months, but like she'll be able to drive around. So we'll be like, we just need to wait until Emmy can drive the kid's car so that
The kid's car.
we can have the adult car. It'll be fine.
My dad used to, I say make me, but I was very willing. He used to I will say, let me drive when I was like 14 and a half. He said,
Yep.
hey, and
Same.
he like Saturday morning, he'd be like, hey, can you go to the store and get me a coffee and a newspaper, please? So I hop in a truck, drive down to the
Yes,
gas station, and
that's hilarious. I grew up on my grandpa's farm, and so I was driving the truck like out in the field and stuff at 14.
yeah.
And my aunts would just be like, yeah, drive. Like it's all backcountry roads.
Mhm.
So and my uncle, who has since passed, he would let me drive his Bronco constantly. And it was so fun. And so like now as an adult, I'm like, I'm looking for a very specific Bronco that I would love to own. And I would almost pay anything for it. And Dave Clarke is like, do not find it. Because he knows that I'd be like, I'm bringing it home today.
Oh yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I had that as a car I never drove, but I was driven in it by my grandparents. It was a 1985 Monte Carlo SS. And my grandparents, they still had it up until they passed away. And I wanted to buy it. And my uncle had it. He's like, I'll sell it to you for, I think it was like $3,000 or something. And so me and Andrea went to look at it. It was like, it's a perfect nostalgia thing. Like I just grew up in
Yeah.
that back seat, and every weekend listening to the Casey Kasem top 40 driving home,
Yes.
So like my brother and my sister just driving around all the time with my grandma and grandpa. And I went there, I sat in it, I drove it, and we parked it in a parking lot. We were looking at it, and it's fine. It's an old car, and I brought it back to my uncle. I said, all right, I'll let you know. And I went home and I told Andrew, I was like, I think I just needed to drive it.
Oh,
I think I just need to drive it like I've never driven it. So I drove it one time and like calculating all the money I would have to put into it, like just
mhm.
the upkeep and that kind of stuff. And I was like, it's just now's not the time. If I ever feel like finding one, I'll do it when I'm older. But I felt good just driving it and saying, "Yep, that's it. I just needed to
I get
drive
it.
the car."
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so cool.
yeah. Because
That's was it two door or four door?
it
Because
was two door.
yeah,
Everything was original because I
yeah,
mean there was still the tape in the tape deck from my grandparents, and
that's amazing.
yeah, so it was an awesome car. It's just there was no space in my life for it right now. So
Right. Yeah,
so
we have no need or actual space, especially if we're about to buy Emmy a car. Like our
yeah.
driveway is already full. I don't need this Bronco. But if it for some reason fell in my lap, I would be
Yeah.
like, sell the kids. We're buying the Bronco because it's got to be so vintage that someone has already like fixed it up, and that's going to make it
Somebody had
just like,
already ran from the police after murdering two people in it. And
okay, so this is what happened. I was talking about David about getting a new car, and I was like, OJ just died. Is it too soon? Like, I really want a white Bronco, but I just feel like I could I do that now? Like, I still don't know.
that's fun. You mentioned your 40th birthday coming up. Are you one that wants to celebrate it, or are you one that does not want to celebrate it?
So for David's 40th, I planned a trip to Nashville and had some of our friends meet us down there.
But did he
Uh,
want to celebrate it, or he
okay,
didn't care?
he's not a country music fan, so
Uh,
we went to Nashville. Um,
so was that a trip for you?
so so for my 40th, I said, go ahead and plan something. So I believe that we might be heading somewhere like Boston, um, or Charleston or something because he really likes history and whatever. So I think we're gonna go do that for my 40th. So
What's more romantic than planning each other's 40th birthdays to do something for
you know
yourself?
what? This is year two that we've both forgot our anniversary and have kind of just high-fived and moved on. So we're doing just fine, I think. Last
Man,
year, we totally forgot the anniversary. Like, and his mom texted me like the day after and was like, happy anniversary. I hope you guys did something fun. And I was driving Emmy to school. And so by the time I pulled back in, I walk in the house and David goes, oh, happy anniversary. And I was like, oh, your mom texted you too? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. We're just, not those people. I mean, I'd love to go do something. I would love to spend time with people. I don't want to go bar hopping. I don't want to do a party bus. I don't want to do any of that. It's just not my scene anymore. But yeah, I would love to travel or do something for my 40th. I think that would be fun.
before I answer this question, I want to do a all inclusive thing for our 40th. So we got to wait one more year. I'll be 40. She's turns 39, and then when she turns 40, I'd like to do an all inclusive thing. I never did one of those before.
Dave and I just did an all inclusive.
Oh, did you?
In St. Lucia.
Okay.
Highly recommend. It was the sandals. Highly recommend any sandals. It was fantastic. And then we did one for spring break with the kids in Jamaica. That one, not so much, but I would go to I would do the same company, just another location. But I think they're great. The make or break on an all-inclusive is the food. If the food is good, then it's an okay stay. But like if the food is like Emmy has to have gluten-free in the food in Jamaica, I thought it would be like fresh fruit and rice and all these things that she could have, and it just was not that. So that was quite disappointing, but like everything else was fine. But I do recommend it all-inclusive, especially for adults. It was perfect. Like you just walk up to the bar and grab the cocktail.
I know our travel agent said there's some that are strictly no children. Adult
all
places.
Of the sandals are no
are
children.
They? Oh, okay. All right. So I thought about that too, and how cool that would be. But I don't know. I started looking into it way too early, just because I like doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it because we haven't booked anything yet. But I think probably by the beginning of next year, I have to have something booked. But
it is quite sticker shock because you're like paying for everything up front.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like if we were just doing Airbnb, it kind of like the payments just kind of trickle throughout the trip and then it's all put together at the end. But like that was whenever he was like, well, this is how much it's going to cost. And I was like, what? That's insane. And he's like, that's usually what a trip costs. They just don't play it all up front. And I'm like, so
I'd much rather pay for everything up right away. Like when we go to Disney, that's how we do it. We just pay for everything. That way, when I get back, I don't have to look at my credit card and be like, all right, well, what else do I got to pay for?
Yeah. I just, it was different.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I do recommend it. We have gone to Turks and Caicos a lot, and they have a sandals there. No, I'm sorry. They have a beaches. Sorry, you'd have to take your kids.
I mean, just because they have children doesn't mean we have to take the children.
It's true. But do you really want to be surrounded by other people's children?
I don't know. Probably not is the answer. Where do you have like a dream vacation that you want to go on?
Bora Bora.
Okay.
I want to stay in one of those houses over top of the water that's like, I don't know, more than my house. It's just so stupid expensive. But that's bucket list for sure.
Well, save up all your organization money, and
I have my own bank account, so the $100 that's in it right now is not going to get us very far. But I'm working on it.
It reminded me of in The Wedding Singer when he goes to a bank. He's like, "Do you have money? I have a little bit in a jar. I keep it on top of my fridge." Oh no, that's when he went to go get a job. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the Galapagos Islands, but I don't know if people stay out there or if people just go do scientific research and then get out of there.
I don't know. Whenever I think of that, I just think of bugs touching me. I don't know why. Like I just feel like I'm sleeping in a net. Bugs are all over the place. I don't know why I think that.
Let's see. Well, there are vacation rentals in Galapagos according to Verbo. So I wonder what.
So a friend of mine actually tried to rent a place on an island, got to the island, and the house didn't exist.
No.
Yeah. So what? Got all the way there.
So then what happened? They just turned around?
They just got on a plane and came home. Yeah. And tried to fight it like through like that. But they got there, they got their rental car, they went to the location. The location was an empty lot.
No
tried
way.
to find a hotel, but it was just such a populated place that like nothing was available. And they had already spent all their money. They'd already sent all of the funds to the Verbo, whoever the person was there. Got on a plane and came home. I don't know if they ever got their money back. I don't know.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That terrifies
so now I'm
me
like,
now.
I don't know if I would do that internationally. I think I would do that stateside. I don't know. How do you guarantee that it's there?
Yeah. And oh my gosh. All right. So
Right?
I'm looking just in case you want to go to the Galapagos Islands. Are there multiple Galapagos? Where are the Galapagos Islands? Do you know?
You know,
This
I,
is a question
I am not sure. I could tell you
because
the 50 states, but that's about all I got on my
because
geography.
there's something in Ecuador, but I don't know if that's. I sound really stupid, and someone's probably like, "You're an idiot." But
No.
if I just Googled Galapagos Islands, I'm assuming there's only one Galapagos
Is there an
Island.
S on the end of islands or is it Galapagos Island? That's how we figured this out.
I think it's in Ecuador. Um, yeah, so it seems very cheap, but I would imagine to get down there is not. Um,
Yeah.
or
Well, I
to
mean, you
or
could
to stay at like
volunteer
a
it.
yeah no or to stay at like a top notch. I would like if I'm gonna do something like this, I'm not gonna go and be like, hey, let me get the studio apartment. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
go, like you said,
Yeah.
at Bora Bora, give me the glass floor so I can see the ocean while I
Yes.
sleep, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yes. I'm the same way. So there was one year that David was like, do you want to go somewhere? There was like a 4-day weekend or whatever that we had. And he was like, do you want to just get away? Let's just go to like, I think we went to Fort Lauderdale. And I was
Mhm.
like, yeah, that sounds great. And he's like, I'm just going to buy some, I'll just rent something. Doesn't really matter. It's just 4 days. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. The place that he rented, it was like the 1970s vintage yucks.
Wait, did you not
Uh,
look at it though before he hit accept?
I just said, yeah, go
Oh
ahead and do it.
man.
David is our travel agent. I hate doing it. I hate planning trips. I hate putting them together. I have high expectations, but don't want to do it, which is so unrealistic. Um, but like this place was like you walk into the condo and there's like no furniture. It's like a huge condo. You can tell where the table's supposed to be because the light is hanging there. There's no
Mm,
table. There was one couch that was like a two-seater and a glass table for like dining. That was it. That was all the
mm.
furniture. The beds, it said it had two double beds. They were basically two twin beds.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
they painted whoever came in to like fix this place up. To me, I thought it was like a probably like a man who went through a divorce and this is what he got out of the divorce and he
Uh,
was like, I'm gonna fix this up and rent it out because they painted over wallpaper, they painted over all the light fixtures, like everything was just ugh. um
well,
but it was kind of cool because the kids were playing football indoors because there's so much space and I was like, I guess this works. There was no pictures on the wall, there was nothing like
I could not like be like, here, Andrea, or Andrew said, here's this place we're gonna go. I could not like not look at it and be like, okay, that's cool. Like, oof.
he usually it was just the one that he was just like, we were just trying to do a cheap trip. And I get it. It's what
Mhm.
our intentions were, but I just was not expecting that. David does a really good job. I think he actually has been working with a travel agent that he knows from work somehow.
Okay,
And she's been kind of putting things together for us a little bit more than him just doing it.
that's the
But
only
he
way
was,
I plan vacations now. Travel agent.
well, I just don't do it anyway. So,
Yeah.
I
What
hate it.
we took the family to Texas last
Mhm.
year. It was me. It was my family. My parents went. My sisters, and then my sister brought her husband and their kids, and we were sleeping, and we just heard this like scratching in the wall.
Nope.
And this place was cool. Like it was really cool. It was a canyon lake. It was on top of like a I would call them hills, but like in between hills and mountains. But it was like on top, and you could like see down and stuff. It was really neat. It had a heated pool because like that, and
Mhm.
but then just heard this scratching, and it woke us up. And then like, all right, well, whatever. And then like we would hear it during the day, scratching. So finally, I sent like a video to the person renting this place, and they sent someone over. I think it was it was raccoons, but they were like in the in the walls and
In the
stuff,
walls.
or
No,
in
thank
like
you.
because of how the house was set up. You like walked in first floor, and then you could go downstairs to like bedrooms and stuff. But then the
Mhm.
outside, like there was like space behind it, like for stores and stuff, and that's where they were
Mhm.
getting in. So
Yeah.
they were, yeah. So
Nope.
I mean, I
We
wasn't
were
gonna like
staying,
change houses, but
we were at a friend's house in Florida one time, and we had gone to dinner or whatever, and we all came back, and when we came back, there was one of those itty bitty little lizard gecko things
yeah,
all over Florida, but it was like on the vaulted ceiling, like clear at the top, like we couldn't get it.
God.
And I shoved so many blankets and shirts and stuff under like the door. Because I
Yeah.
was like, that thing is not getting in here while I'm sleeping. But we woke up the next day and it was gone. Like couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like, I want out.
Does that make it worse? Does that make it worse?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know where it's at, where it's gonna jump out of me when I'm trying to get a glass. Like it just no, thank you. I don't want any part of it.
Well,
I'm like a travel princess on like a dime budget, and I don't even put the trip together. Like how stupid spoiled is that?
Carry me to the room.
Yeah,
please.
right? Just showing up to the airport, like, what plane are we getting on?
Do you fly the same airline all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're complete Delta snobs.
Yeah, us too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't care until we only fly Delta. And then now when I go plan trips just by myself, I automatically just book Delta just because that's it. I also don't like flying, so I know what to expect on these things and how to like check in and all this stuff. And I don't want like a new experience, especially when I'm by myself, because I don't like it.
Really? I love it. I think it's so convenient.
I gotta like hold Andrea's hand when we're taking off, and I just don't. It terrifies me.
Really?
I'm getting better at it, but
almost every other year I fly by myself with the girls, and I did this for the first time whenever Olive was still in a car seat.
Oh my gosh,
that time was a little bit terrifying for me, and it wasn't like it was terrifying. It was just a little bit overwhelming. Like by myself, 2 small children. At the time we. For some reason, whenever we booked it, we didn't book the seats together. And so 2 of them together and 1 seat was like 3 rows ahead. And
oh no.
I know, good luck on me. I don't know. Hopefully you sit by someone nice. They did get the seats switched, so we did end up sitting together. But that same trip, of course, David planned it. He booked it for me.
Wait, he planned the trip that he didn't even go on?
I did. Wait, I'll circle back, but like I'm flying with the girls by myself in June, and I booked that one all by myself. So I am growing up. I'm getting it.
All right.
But that trip that he booked when the kids were little, I was like, just get me a car, whatever. I'm like walking out to the car lot. They just handed me my keys and they were like, it's in spot 34 or whatever. And I was like, okay. And I'm walking out and I have 2 car seats, luggage, like the girls have their luggage, all of this shit. And I beep it, and it's like the smallest compact car you could possibly have. And I was like, I'm on the phone with David. It's 11:30 at night. I was like, you booked me an effing compact? like my travel agent really effed it up.
Were you able to get everybody in there?
Eventually, yes. Yeah. It was actually pretty convenient because I had to make a couple U-turns, and it was real nice to whip it around.
Oh man.
It's fine.
Well, Megan, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. I know you probably got something. Well, no, you don't have anything to do today. It's a nice volleyball free weekend. So
I think that I will see you at the ball field at 3:00, right?
I'm not gonna be there. I know.
Lame.
Sorry. I know.
Right. Well, we're scrimmaging you guys, I believe.
Yeah, I think we only had like 5 girls able to go.
I think we had 7.
Yeah.
The last time I checked, but that's okay.
They'll all be out there running around.
Let the girls have fun, and I know that your girls that joined our team were such good friends. So like, it'll be fun to have everyone together.
I got my own softball game just to play today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Who do you play for?
So there's a ranger at work who puts together a team and asks some of us to be on his team.
Is it a slow pitch?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I did that. At the end of my college career, some friends had actual jobs.
Yeah.
They asked if I wanted to play. So it was really fun. I really had a fun time.
Yeah, I love it. And my parents come and watch, and I think it's fun. Like last time they were the only people watching. Like people don't come usually to watch. So
yeah.
I like my mom really gets into it. Like there was 2 outs and then there was a fly ball and one of our outfielders made a catch, and I hear my mom go, yes.
Do you think your parents just like love still watching you do sports?
Oh yeah, my dad tells me that. Yeah. They love it. That. Yeah, because my dad used to dad coached my baseball team for years, and he's like, yeah, it's weird to see you out there now, but it's fun. They both really enjoy it. Yeah.
I love that. No, I want to come. I want to come watch. Send me your schedule. Are you a game changer? Can I look it up?
No. Every Sunday night, the Mommy Rec, or was it Lucas County Rec Center?
Okay.
We play, yeah. So
Fun.
all right. Well, thanks again, Megan. This was awesome. It was nice catching up and talking to you.
Yeah, it's always fun. Thank you for making this such an enjoyable experience to do. I really enjoy it, and I'm super proud of you for everything that you put out there and how many people you talk to, and all the information. Like, I love that. Like, people just come on and chit chat, and like, you do such a great job of also embracing everybody, from books to sports to cars to like everything. It's so fun. You do a great job.
I have listened to a few of the beginning ones, and I was like, man, I've gotten a lot better.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
So
I feel the same way about my website. I have no freaking clue what I'm doing, but it looks a lot better than what I did before.
Well, thanks, Megan. Thanks again to my guest, Megan Clarke, for coming on the podcast. Megan has been a friend for a few years now, once our daughters played softball, and it was good to catch up with her, not just in passing at a softball field. So it was nice talking to her about her business of organizing and reorganizing spaces for people, and then just talking about whatever. So as she said it, like she said at the end, just chit-chatting, and that's what this is, and I really enjoy it. So again, search us if you're trying to find a show, search us any of the podcast catchers out there. If we're not on one, please let me know. I don't know how you would know if you're not listening to this and we're not on it. So yeah, I guess if you're watching on YouTube and you want to listen to it and it doesn't exist on that platform, please let me know. Search all social media, search Nerdball Podcast, and Gmail is the nerdballpodcast@gmail.com. So please continue to do all you do for this podcast, and I will continue to put them out. And I'm hoping to get a few ahead. So June isn't blank like it usually is. So hopefully I can get there, and no one will miss any episodes. So like I say every week, thanks to Real JP Multimedia, Cuttlefish Graphics, Big Daddy Graphics, and the Perrysburg Junior High STEM Lab for always helping out the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.